This would be fun though. We should do this. One day we're gonna do this.
Yeah, one day we
We're
will
like
do
wasted.
a drunk Wano report.
Let's say when the channel hits 10K.
Yeah, when the
channel
we'll do celebratory. We can do it as a stream too. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do drunk Wano report stream. So subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, if you can get us to 10K,
You can call us out for that. Hey, welcome back, everyone. That was weird.
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna.
I think we
roll
didn't
it
know
anyway.
who was starting. Yeah, go ahead.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, welcome to another episode of the Wano Report, number 37 today. And we have a lot to talk about. We were not here for 2 weeks, I think. Both busy, both having a lot around our heads recently, but we're back, and I think there is a lot to talk about. How you doing, March?
I am doing pretty good. I'm glad to be back on the show. I was worried I wouldn't be invited back, but yeah, here we are.
Last chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have 2 chapters, if I am correct, to talk about. 981 and 982 since the last time we talked. So, I think both of them were really event intense, let's say. So I guess maybe we can just recap in general. Just maybe before I ask you what you thought about it, to give you an idea. For me, I thought the chapter before this one, so 981, I really loved that one. That was one of the most enjoyable One Piece chapters I've read in a while, and that says something because I usually enjoy the chapters recently. And then this week's, I thought that one was good as well, but it was not as it didn't have this flow that the one before had, I felt, and it was a bit more episodic. There were no like real highlights. It was rather driving the plot forward, but it was still good. But I really, really liked the one before. What do you think?
981, I definitely agree. Okay, I'll do full disclosure for 981. Basically, I did get spoiled on the Marco reveal, partly because I spoiled myself. All that had happened was I had put out a video that same week. People were saying that the 981 spoilers were out very early, to not look at them. People were saying that, it's all over Twitter. YouTubers are getting spoiled left and right. So I was like, okay, I hope I don't get spoiled. And then somebody left a comment on my video saying, Jinbei betrays the crew. I was like, oh my god, I just got spoiled on the chapter. Like, why would this person... Like, in my mind, that was so obviously the spoiler for 981. That I was like, okay, so this person just spoiled one of the greatest plot twists in One Piece. Then I was like, okay, well, if I just got spoiled, then I kind of just want to read what the spoilers were. So I never do this, but I went and checked the spoilers thread. No mention of Jinbei whatsoever. Turns out Marco shows up. I was like, God, spoiled myself on what would have been
got you.
Yeah, great rival. It's like, why did this person even say that? Why would you say that Jinbei? But I don't know. Maybe that was his theory or something. I don't know. It had nothing to do with Jinbei either. The video I was talking about. It was the weirdest
maybe
thing.
It was like, I'm not gonna ruin this guy. Like, I'm not gonna ruin this chapter for this guy. I'm gonna make this guy ruin the chapter for himself.
I don't know. I think he was just throwing out, like, he didn't even say anything about 981. I think he was just throwing out, like, Jinbei will betray the crew, basically. Maybe as, like, a theory that he was just mentioning as a comment. But I, who was on such high alert for 981 spoilers, I saw this comment and I was like, damn it, that's it. It's over. I was so disappointed for a bit. Then I went, and then I double disappointed myself because it's, But anyway, so I did know Marco was showing up. So that did take away a little bit of the surprise for me. But the chapter as a whole was a really, really cool chapter. I mean, I am really liking basically the dynamics that are popping up with Luffy, Kid, and Zoro, and Killer, I guess, to a degree. I definitely actually... one of my favorite parts of that chapter was what Apu said to Kid, which was basically... I'm getting the right chapter, right? Apu and Kid.
Yeah.
Kid's got, Apu against the
like
wall,
the
basically.
alliances don't have a happy ending.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, it's not just the alliances don't have happy endings. Like, that was good. I think the line he said before it, too, which was basically, like... along the lines of, we would not be, like, you're an idiot for basically thinking that we would be able to take on a Yonko crew just with a few supernova teaming up, something along those lines, basically. And I really like that because that's, one, it does feel like, from my perspective, that they are taking this a little with a lot of confidence, basically. So it does add that sort of, warning, basically, that they shouldn't be taking this straightforward. But two, I think it's good for Apu's character because it's not just that Apu, he betrayed them because he's a dick. It's kind of like, okay, somewhere along the line, he realized that they're just not good. Like, it was just a logical choice that he made. It's not like, haha, I'm just like a nasty villain. I'm just going to betray Kid and Hawkins. It was basically like, we just can't do this. Like, it's not a feasible goal to be able to take down a Yonko crew. We just can't do it.
I also thought that was really healthy for his character, as you said. Just, confirming that, or basically earning his place amongst the supernova, being like, I also am not here 100% on a voluntary basis, but, there's just no way we could have won this. And so, I kind of had to pick the side which, got me the closest to my goal anyway.
Yes. And I think that actually opens up, like, I don't know if Apu's going to be a bad character going forward. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he could be. I personally don't think that he is going, like, I think that he could have a very much a chance. Like, I think he's going to be on the protagonist side overall by the end of this. But, that remains to be seen, basically. But I do like that what that added to the Kid Apu dynamic. I hope we get to see more of that. And it made me like Apu more in general, basically.
And one thing I got the feeling in general, like, the Flying Six in general, I really, really like the more we get of them, the more I like them. They really quickly became one of my favorite character sets in the entire arc so far. But I feel like now that you mention it, they kind of have the same supernova vibe almost, as if like they were the supernova before Luffy and the others, and they all got, crushed by Kaido and have been like subdued.
Yeah, because they are captains, right? They're former captains, I think, or at least Who's Who and Sasaki
most
is.
of them,
yeah, I think maybe all of them. I'm not sure. I mean, we know X-Drake was basically like, that's really cool that they were all just captains, and then Kaido is like, now you work for me. And I feel
like many of them give off this vibe that they would jump ship pretty fast if they saw an opportunity, or that way. Like, I feel like for example, I'm really excited to see what happens between Ulti, Page One, and Luffy, because I feel like that already has the potential. I saw a bunch of people throwing that around, that Ulti's gonna fall in love with Luffy, or like gonna end up liking him in some way. And that's definitely something I can see, like the Flying Six at the end also switching sides and betraying or fighting against Kaido. Like, I feel like that's something that could definitely happen.
I mean, I don't like the idea of Ulti like becoming a big Luffy fan, basically. Although obviously
becoming part of the harem.
Yeah, I guess just because like I want there to be more villains to fight, if that makes sense. So I'd rather not too many people, because I do want just more matchups and lots of characters being able to get a matchup or a 1v1, basically. So my hope is still that, I did like the little interaction. We can get to this in a bit, I guess, but I really like the little interaction that Luffy and Ulti had towards the very end, even though it was pretty simple. We'll get to that in a second, I guess. But like, I do generally really like the Tobi Roppo as well. I agree with you that I think out of all of the groups that have been introduced in Wano so far, I think they're definitely my favorite. I don't even know what it is. Their dynamic is cool, so competitive, so like backstabby, I guess. The fact that, as you said, they are former captains and such. Like, they are all really big egos and big personalities just grouped together. I don't know. I just really like that dynamic, especially that scene. I know it's not from the last two chapters, but when they were in front of Kaido and King, and like that whole scene, I thought was like an excellent scene.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. Sorry, was drinking.
No, you're good.
But
coffee. He was drinking coffee.
Yes,
just
for sure.
It's not just day drinking in the
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
no beer. It's just like, oh man, this would be fun though. We should do this One day we're gonna do this.
Yeah, one day we will
Like
do a
wasted.
definitely a drunk Wano report.
Let's say when the channel hits 10K.
Yeah, when the
drunk
chat, we'll
Wano
do a
report.
celebratory. We can do it as a stream too. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do drunk Wano report stream. So subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, if you can get us to 10K.
You can call us out for that.
Yeah.
Once it happens, it's gonna be like, yeah, it's 10K. You're gonna have to do the wasted one. We're gonna be like, I don't remember saying that. No, you can. No, we're definitely gonna do that. That sounds fun.
That's a great one. We'll do it at
one
5K
thing
if it's taking too long to get to 10.
Okay, yeah, sure. So we can do it. Or
We'll see it. We'll see
End
it.
up making the one report a drunk one anyway.
We just start adding it in. All right, we'll do it at 4K, and then we'll do it again at 4.3K, and then. All right.
Exactly. One thing I wanted to say was that now that you mention it, like, I don't get me wrong, I really do like all of the scabbards. I did love, the action on Zou. I really like Nekomamushi, Inuarashi. I do like Kinemon. I think we talked about this before a lot. Kanjuro being the traitor, I like him a lot. Kiku is super cool. Like, most of them are really cool, Shutenmaru. But nonetheless, if the scabbards had designs a bit more similar or the same as the Flying Six, that would have been cool. Like,
you think that the
like
designs are
if Sasaki was part of the, for example, like his design, like if he were part of the samurai instead of Kawamatsu as a fisherman, like that would be cool.
I know what you're saying.
Cool.
Like, Kawamatsu doesn't have the coolest design, personally.
No, I really like Kawamatsu. Like, he's cute, and I think he's pretty. Like, he's a cool, fun, likable character, and I don't mind him. Like, it's not like I dislike him or anything. I just think if we had that level of badassness, I feel like people would probably have been more involved with the scabbards as well. If it were like this badass group of people.
I mean, they do badass. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, the scabbards are all kind of like a little on the funnier side in terms of how they look, how they act. Like, I will say one thing. I think I guess, like, now that you're bringing up the scabbards comparison, I guess, like, the scabbards, I think, for me, I liked a lot of them individually when they were getting their individual, like, Inuarashi, Nekomamushi, during the Zou arc, I really grew to like both of them, especially Nekomamushi. It's just been a bit since then, but that was when, they got more focus, more story time. They had, like, that great moment that we all know, like Raizodon and stuff. So I like them from that. Then, like, Ashura Doji, when we were getting focus on him early in the arc, all of the stuff that happened with him, like his attitude, I think that really showed. Kawamatsu got his little story, stuff like that. Like, I think I liked a lot of, obviously, Kyoshiro was a cool reveal and everything like that. Kanjuro. Basically, I'm saying, like, I think I liked a lot of the scabbards individually. I think the thing is, like, when they're all together with a group, or as they started to, just become the 9 scabbards again, basically, I think part of maybe their personalities shined a little less, or, like, I don't really know how to explain it, but I think they blended together, like, a little more. Like, Ashura Doji, who I was very interested in early in the arc, I think once Oda kind of wrapped up his thing of, like, he found the ships and everything for everybody, all of that. Like, once Oda kind of wrapped that up, I think he hasn't stood out as much, and, that's natural. But yeah, just basically the scabbards, like, as they became more and more of a group, I think they started to blend a little bit more. Now it's really only Kinemon that stands out to me, and Kyoshiro, I guess, basically. And then on the other hand, the Tobi Roppo, because their dynamic is the way it is, like, when they're in a group, that's when it's the most exciting almost, because I like seeing them butt heads and, like, have their own arguments and competing interests and stuff like that. So I think that's why, like, the Tobi Roppo, at least to me, feel like they're really cool individually, and then as a group they're, like, a really dynamic group, basically.
Yeah, no, I think you already hit the nail on its head basically with this one, because I also feel the issue with the scabbards is that all of them are very interesting individually, but then in a group they harmonize so immensely that their individual quirk, like, as you said, like, while the Tobi Roppo, like, their quirks collide in the group, and that's what makes them stand out even more and makes it entertaining. While the scabbards, they all have their quirks and their unique sides, but they're such a perfect team and such a harmonious group that basically all these quirks stop popping when they're together, but they're just like this united unit, and it's like what makes the Straw Hats work as well, right? Like, even when they're fighting, there's like these quirky confrontations, basically these snappy comments.
Yeah.
And the scabbards are just standing together fighting, and that it's like great. It's a great. I guess they have a great unity, but obviously it doesn't make for this this charismatic appeal to each individual character.
Yes, and I think harmony is like the perfect word for it. Honestly, like it does feel more like they stand together, like they're gonna have similar reactions to a lot of situations. And like I think if it's hard to remember, but if you go back through, I guess a lot of once they became like a group, like end of Act 2, Act 3, and stuff, like they're having a lot of the same reactions to like a lot of. It's just the way it is, and it makes sense as you said, like they as a group they're all united. They're standing together. Like once they're the 9 scabbards again, they're the 9 scabbards basically. Yeah. But
do you feel Oda will dissect it a little bit more later on or like do you feel like they'll get individual fights and like we'll get to see like their individuality a bit more again, or is it rather no, like they're supposed to be this unit that also acts in unison and so on and so forth?
I think no. I think it's just kind of like like it's hard to compare. Like if you compare it to the Straw Hats, for example. Like, the Straw Hats were added one by one, and they all had, like, very long arcs and storylines to establish who they are, establish their dynamics with other characters and stuff. So we had time to see, like, Zoro and Sanji's, like, antagonistic relationship start to grow, or, like, Zoro and Chopper's, like, big brother relationship, or, no, more so Usopp and Chopper's, like, big brother like, we got time to see these individual dynamics, so, like, we get a clearer idea of, like, when they're all together, there's, like, way more established interpersonal dynamics at work there. Whereas with the scabbards, like we got them all individually, and then very quickly we started getting them all together. So I think Oda just hasn't. There's just not enough time to establish like the clear like how does Kinemon feel about Kawamatsu? How does Inuarashi feel about Kiku? Stuff like that. Like there's just not enough time to do that. I don't know if we'll get more in-depth dynamics between the group, and like in terms of individual fights, I personally don't think they're going to be getting too many. Maybe against Kanjuro, but I can't imagine all 9 of them ganging up on Kanjuro. That seems a little rough for Kanjuro, unless he's like I don't know, admiral level or something like that. Like I don't know. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but just to play devil's advocate here, I do believe that, or like, I do feel that Oda did a pretty damn good job in just a couple of, in a handful of chapters, really, to already create a very clear and distinct dynamic between the Flying Six.
Yes. That's that. So I'm saying that's like a little different, basically. So with the Straw Hats, I guess. Oh, well, okay. My bad then. It's not like you can't do it, because Oda clearly did do it with the Flying Six. I guess what I'm saying is like he didn't do it with the scabbards, and maybe it's harder because there's less time to plug them in one at a time. But you're right that with the Tobi Roppo, right off the bat, Oda was very quick. Like I think in their first introduction, literally in the first 2 pages, probably, that he had them, you're right that like he was able to establish very quickly that, this is how Who's Who feels about Sasaki, this is how Ulti feels about Page 1. X-Drake is kind of aloof and stuff like that. You're right that he was able to establish a lot of those dynamics very quickly. So, yeah, it's not like you can't do it. I guess it just didn't happen that way with the scabbards or whatever. And that's not really, I don't think that's Oda's bad. Maybe it is just more so Oda wants them as a group to be a little more cohesive as a group. Like, all united under the same goal.
Yeah. It's probably what he wants to get at. Yeah, for sure.
But still, Tobi Roppo are more exciting. They're the most exciting group that's popped up in.
And they look, I just like the looks also. Like, I don't know.
Dude, their designs are really cool. And people were shitting on Who's Who's design for like a little bit. I think Who's Who has a really cool design.
Yeah, no, they all have. Like, a really. Oh, by the way, like, interesting. Like, I feel like there's about, like, since we haven't talked about 2 chapters now, there's so much to talk about. For example, I did really like the dynamics in the latest chapter as well. For example, you had obviously what you said with Ulti and Luffy, and then Ulti and Page 1. Like, that's going to be super interesting the next chapters. I'm looking forward to that. But also, for example, I did like the Sasaki scene, like Kyoshiro basically shackling him. But like it was pretty clear that even though he's part of Kaido's crew, Kyoshiro like didn't have any resentment against him. He was like, you weren't there when all the shit went down, and you're not really here on a voluntary basis. So he like, but like if that had been Jack or like, someone else who had been there at Odin's execution, I think he would have probably reacted way differently than he did towards him, like almost in a way like, oh, just you just stay out of this, like, you don't know what's going on here, we're gonna handle this.
That's interesting. I didn't even actually think about that. Like, yeah, like if they handcuffed him, Kyoshiro could have just killed him there, to be honest, right? Kyoshiro, I didn't even think about that. I was just like, okay, so they captured him, which was like a real little out of left field. Like, do you think those are sea stone cuffs, by the way? I kind of hope they are.
It would be kind of stupid if it weren't.
Yeah.
I would like then Kinemon would have a serious contester for not smart decisions.
I don't know. I think we've seen like normal chains hold people before, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe not in the New World anymore. Okay, well, I'm just gonna assume those are sea stone cuffs unless otherwise hopefully. Shown. Basically, let's hope they're sea stone cuffs. Basically, but. I did like the Orochi Kanjuro scene. I guess we should move it along because I know you got to leave and we got to get questions. How'd you feel about the Orochi Kanjuro Kaido scene? I personally like that.
Oh yeah, I liked that a lot. In general, like I more like every scene I see Orochi, I dislike him more. But like from the analytical storytelling perspective, I feel like that's a great thing.
Yeah,
I'm very happy. Orochi is more and more shaping out to be a really easily hateable character, if you know what I mean. Like, it's good to have that target of pure loathing, someone you can project all the unfairness on, because Kaido, I feel like for the moment isn't shaping out to be this clear villain of evil, if you know what I mean, right? Like, he's more
dude, Kaido's likable, to be honest. Like, if you go reread that last chapter, it's like, Kaido just wants to drink, have fun. He's really nice to the Flying Six, by the way. Like, really nice to the Flying. Like,
he's really polite.
Yeah, he's really like, Ulti's yelling at him about some stuff, like, this is stupid, why are we doing this? He's like, yeah, I know, but we just gotta do it.
Yeah, looks at Momo, kind of is triggered that he doesn't have anyone to fight him.
Yeah, it's just, Kaido's an okay dude. It's kind of funny.
And Kanjuro also, I think, is really interesting. Like, I'm wondering, like, for example, one thing I'm wondering, why didn't Orochi tell Kaido that Kanjuro was the spy, right? Like, where's the point in keeping that hidden?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll be honest. For this stuff, I don't know if we're gonna get a reason. And if we don't, I would just assume. I feel like Oda's got like a lot of different things he's juggling right now. I think there's the argument that like Orochi just didn't, Orochi just didn't tell him. Although it's hard to say because like people also point out that Kanjuro, when he was like held captive by Doflamingo, Kanjuro was like treated well or something like that. I don't really remember, but I've seen some people say that. I haven't seen Dressrosa in a long time. So I don't know, like maybe, I don't know. I don't really have a good explanation for it. Like, I'm just going to go with Oda did forget this thing, basically, unless otherwise, unless a reason is given, basically. So
did you notice how Oda drew Kanjuro different in size, just like to emphasize his changing character?
I did not. That's wild if that's the case.
Dude, go pull up the chapter and look at him holding Momo, and like he looks double the size he usually is. I swear.
I don't know how tall Kanjuro normally is, because like so many characters are big that it's hard for me to remember. Like,
he's pretty tall. I think he's like 3 meters something.
Is he
like
as tall
3.5 meters?
Is he as tall as Kinemon? Because Kinemon's really tall.
No, I think he's as tall as Kinemon. But like whenever, like, because I went back and checked, and like he was always drawn a bit smaller than Kinemon, even though who told me that? I think Pitch told me. Shout out to her, by the way, for the great thumbnail. I forgot at the intro. But I think she told me that like they're pretty much the same height. But like in this chapter, it's really like, because when I looked at this, I was like, damn, like the entrance scene when he's holding up Momo.
Oh, Momo got messed up,
dude. And that was a good moment for him as well. I felt like, him struggling to get free and actually like trying to change something on his own.
And I'm glad he got messed up. Like, I'm glad that knife plot went nowhere. I would have actually been a little annoyed if Momo was able to do anything whatsoever. I don't think now is the time, basically. No, and I do think it was good to establish,
it's part of his process, I guess, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I think it was good to have included that little scene before. Like, one, to just establish that, okay, it's taking Kanjuro a little bit to get there, and two, to establish, like, it's starting kind of what Momo needs to be working towards, basically. Like, okay, Momo's at least trying to struggle here, not effectively, but like he's thinking about how to get out on his own. I think if Kanjuro had just brought Momo here directly, it would have been like, okay, so Momo didn't really put up much of a fight or anything like that. Also gives a reason for Momo to be like really beaten, like badly beaten up when he's brought there. Hey, I'm gonna grab my charger. It's like a foot away, so just entertain the podcast for like a second.
I'm gonna entertain the audience.
All right.
I'm just gonna drink something now. I'm just gonna cut this out. And we're back already.
I am back, yeah.
So fast. Almost as someone edited the pause out.
Oh no, did you edit them?
I edited. I just edited it.
All right.
Now you have to grab your headphones again. Yeah, but yeah, no. Also, what I really liked in the last chapter was Black Maria, like her, taking Momo and putting him into her lap, and like basically like showing this motherly instinct she has almost. Like I don't know.
I was gonna go the other way with like I like Black Maria's angle of like why compete for Yamato when I can just like
when I can
just be screwing my boss basically,
But did you see that she put Momo into her lap?
Yes, I'm looking through it now, basically, so I didn't actually even notice that the first time around. And it looks like she held him in held him in her hands first too. Maybe I'm seeing that wrong, or maybe that's like a Saki
poor
thing
boy.
or something.
Like she shows like some real empathy there, like some real compassion.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, that does go along with what you said of like, it's possible that most of them don't. Like most of them were like roped into being part of Kaido's crew. That's not to say that they're like good characters or anything like that, but like, they're not just bad guys because they're part of the Beast Pirates necessarily. And you're right, Kanjuro is like a really, really my god, what the hell happened to him? Why is he so tall? Like Momo almost fits in his hand the way it's looking like this.
I actually think, given the heights that Oda puts on his characters, that's actually kind of realistic. I just think it's interesting from a storytelling perspective because he like visually shows us how Kanjuro has grown as a character, if you want to put it that way, At the very least, more impact, like more of a major character, basically. Like more intimidating, more in the focus,
Yes. Yeah.
So
definitely one of the top villains basically at this point, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure.
What do
you think about the Big Mom Pirates, by the way?
Oh, the Big Mom Pirates like getting knocked down. Okay.
Is there gonna be a
Big
third
Mom
time?
Pirates. I didn't mind that. I thought it was. I think if it happens one more time, I'm saying it's too much. Basically, is what I'll leave it at.
No, I'm gonna be
you want it to happen over and over.
Dude, there has to be a third time.
God damn it. Dude, it's just like they're supposed to be like the first time around it was a pure surprise. I guess this time around it was a surprise too, right? Like King's not gonna knock him down now because he's on their side. But it's just I don't know. It's I like that Marco came back. I'm at the point now where I'm hoping to see, like, I'm excited to see the Big Mom Pirates show off their stuff, basically. That's where I'm at, especially Smoothie. So for me, I didn't need that joke right there, basically. I was excited for basically like Smoothie showing up and like getting to do stuff. Like I liked it the first time. I thought that was a really great way to show off King and stuff like that. At this point, I'm like, okay, so now I want to see the Big Mom Pirates, because like the Beast Pirates are getting like a lot of cool build up, basically. Like the Tobi Roppo are exciting. Luffy and Zoro and Kid are kind of struggling a little bit right now. So now I'm like, let me see the Big Mom Pirates, basically. So I like the fact that Marco came back, but that's, yeah, go ahead.
I personally don't think that we're gonna see the Big Mom Pirates as antagonists anymore in this arc.
Because they keep getting knocked out over, or
I believe at this point, Oda has kind of made it clear that the Big Mom Pirates, like, he's not like they're the point where some people still seem to be waiting for, that they're gonna have this badass epic Yonko like entrance. I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. Like Oda made it pretty clear by now that no, this is the way he wants to portray them. Like they're like not as a joke, but like as a more positive, more not that big of a threat kind of way. It's the same with Big Mom when you like, and that like if you let go of all your expectations that Big Mom has to be this monster and like Smoothie and like everyone has to be like that big, similar to Jack and King and Queen and so on and so forth. If you let go of that expectation and that comparison, these scenes are so hilarious. Like also the scene with Big Mom popping out of that house and then chasing the tank with Usopp and Chopper.
Okay,
if you're
okay,
yeah.
I'm just not gonna agree with you on this basically because I still hold the Yonko as the Yonko base, and I do think that Whole Cake Island did a lot to build up these characters as significant forces basically. So I'm
I don't deny that.
I will wait and see basically, but like, I just don't like the fact that I think Big Mom when she was chasing the Straw Hats on Whole Cake Island. At least, you could say the chase got really long and stuff, and that's fine. But at least the moment that she was chasing them right after the tea party, up till they got to the shore, that was pretty terrifying. I kind of want to see that Big Mom back because, like, it's just such a significant villain. It seemed like such an exciting villain, basically, and like the Yonko had so much build up. Their crew really seemed formidable at that point too. I still fully expect them to be major antagonists of this arc. However Oda is doing them right now, I think he's just doing it because he thinks it's funny. But I still don't believe that like they're just not going to be major villains because like a lot has been made out of the fact that like Kaido and Big Mom are teaming up. That is significant. I don't think it's just like Kaido and then a gag character. I think it's like it is supposed to be Kaido and like like a giant two-headed dragon basically. Like that's my impression of it. Like it's supposed to be a big deal that it's two Yonko crew teaming up. So we'll see.
I'm not saying that Big Mom is a gag character. Like I do believe her to be a serious character, but I do not see her as an antagonist anymore at this point in the story. Yeah, so I'm curious. I'm curious how it's going to turn out, and I'm open for her to stay and become another big antagonist. Like I don't mind. It's just not what I see at the moment, and I personally I just pity the people who can't enjoy the great comedy in these couple of scenes just because they have these expectations with them because they're objectively hilarious. I personally believe.
All right. You will pity me then because I did not find this scene funny. Like to me it's the same way like I like for certain villains of certain significance like I like comedy as much as the next person, but then like for certain characters, like it's the same way. I think it takes away from Crocodile a little bit if he's turned into like a gag for some period of time. Like I felt like he was such an intimidating villain in Alabasta because Oda kept up that vibe. Same with like Lucci, like he felt like such a cold-blooded killer all the way through, like an extremely competent, capable character. Same with Doflamingo, like when Doflamingo was coming after the Straw Hats on the ship, like that felt like a legitimately terrifying moment for the crew until Sanji showed up because. That's what Doflamingo was. So I do prefer for some characters, like, just keep, like, if they're a villain of that significance, keeping their, intimidation factor or their whatever factor, basically, a little bit. So that's, like, it's the same reason that, like...
I do agree with you, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, that's basically it. Like, it's the same reason I hold Buggy in a different, like, view than, like, those three villains that I mentioned, basically. So... that's basically it. And it's not like they have to be serious. Like Kaido, he's a drunk and stuff like that. That doesn't take away from his intimidation factor. It's just like I still feel like there's some sort of a scale. I think the way Big Mom has been portrayed a little bit recently, it's like going a little too far off that scale towards like a more Buggy-ish portrayal at this point for me. But it's not like a big deal. Like I think it like just based on how the rest of the Fire Festival goes, she could easily be back to her Whole Cake Island self. I don't know.
Sure. I think it's interesting also, because I feel like it's exactly this, what I feel like is so easily to underestimate whenever people discuss about not only One Piece, but stories in general. Because like the two of us now, we share a lot of opinions on the story, but it's like stuff like this where it's so easy to have a different perspective on things. And then whenever people, come into a discussion and have zero understanding for anyone else feeling different about anything.
Yeah, it's like I feel what you're feeling basically, and that I feel but it's not like I'm mad that something's
Yeah,
a certain way
exactly.
or whatever. Basically.
Like I
It's
would
just,
I would never be like, oh, but no, you have to find it funny. Like you
Yeah,
have to.
exactly.
If you don't think Big Mom's funny, you have to unsubscribe, right? No, of course. I mean, and that's the point. Like it's not. And I mean, this isn't only about liking or disliking something. It's also about when you have stories or stories like plot in general. That's maybe a bit more open to interpretation, right? Like that's also the magic of good literature in general, or good media in general, that it's open to interpretation. You can have different ideas about what this and that means for you, how you characterize stuff. So
Yes, definitely.
okay, should we get into questions?
Yes, we should get into some questions.
Let's do some questions.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Grand Line Reviews questions.
Yes, I did retweet that. 'Cause I think
You retweeted it.
Dude, by the way, Liam, if you're listening to this, then you are officially invited to the next episode again, just to check if you're listening. So,
If he responds, we'll know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liam's question, so Grand Line Review's question. By the way, one of the nicest guys I've ever met, I feel.
Yes.
Definitely. So, yeah.
Very
It was
nice
definitely
guy.
a blast having you on. Come back, please. His question is, do you wear pants while recording the Wano report? Do you want me to stand up? Do you want to find out?
Neither of us need to answer this question. It's beneath us.
I'm actually
Also,
in
not
my
standing up.
boxers, so I'm gonna spare you.
I'm
almost
up to
wearing
the listener's imagination. They can imagine
Oh,
us with
did I
pants.
already
They can
spoil?
imagine us.
Do I have to
without
bleep
pants.
that out? That I'm not wearing pants.
All right, moving on to some
Pants
less
are
serious
overrated.
questions.
Wait, that was not a serious question.
No, that was the most serious question that could have been asked. Everything else after this is just, minor stuff.
Let's see.
I didn't actually
My God.
see any other ones that I wanted.
I have
Hold
one.
on.
I have one that's perfect for you because I know that's exactly what you're into. Do you ship Luffy and Ulti?
No, that's the only character I ship Luffy with is Nami, and
Really?
I knew I was gonna get like a reaction because I don't know, like either you agree with it or you don't see it. At
By the
all,
way,
basically.
Since you said that, you should definitely make a video just with that thumbnail because
No.
you're already like easy to get reactions of that. Why
I'll
not?
get so
Luffy
much
already-
controversy off of that.
don't
There's
know,
controversy over.
I don't ship Luffy with anyone. I just don't see him having any like maybe in 10 years. But right now as he is, I think it's made pretty clear that that's
Well, okay, I'm saying like if Luffy gets shipped
okay.
with
If
someone,
he had
basically.
to, right,
if he
okay.
had to, I'm saying Nami, and I don't even think it's that bad of a thing. It's just
that is the 20k subscriber goal.
Yeah, that's-
wasted and shipping. That's the wasted shipping stream we're gonna have at 20k.
Okay.
you have a question you
Let's see if there's an even more serious question than that one somehow.
Oh, even
Oh, there's one that says, "What would the Tobi Roppo's devil fruits be?" Go watch my video.
I was figuring.
Oh, wait, actually, Ohara, do you have some guesses right off the top, or
Yeah,
you want to do a different question?
I do. I actually haven't watched the video yet. I just saw that you published it right before we
Yep.
record this, so I'm gonna watch that later. I do believe that Sasaki has a butterfly devil fruit. I think we talked about that before.
Yes, we
just
did talk
because
about
of the
that.
translation. I also do believe. I mean, we do know Drake. We do know Page One. I do believe that Who's Who. I think it would be interesting to have him have something cat themed, just based on his crew that he has around him. You probably talk about that in your video. I'm just gonna assume.
Yep. I said Sabretooth, if that...
Yeah, that would be cool.
fits. Mhm.
That'd be cool. I mean, I also wouldn't mind like I think a lion devil fruit would actually be cool.
He does have
think we
long
talked-
hair, like a
Yeah,
long blonde-looking hair, it looks like.
yeah. Even I'm wondering, even if it were just a basic cat, if you had someone really strong with just a cat fruit, that'd actually be dope. I don't know.
So, like, worse than any other devil fruit or zone fruit that we've seen in the sword.
But if he's
so
actually
far.
really like, if you have a really strong cat fruit user, that'd be pretty dope. I feel.
It's just, like,
Who's
objectively worse than Lucci's fruit.
Yeah, I feel Black Maria is either gonna be a Black Widow, a spider. I feel like that would suit her really well, or a Black Mamba, like a snake. I can see
Kobe
both of
Bryant.
those,
Yeah.
like in a giant spider, giant snake. And who's missing?
You got Ulti.
I feel like she's the most difficult to guess because there's not so much. I feel like probably the thing she has in front of her mouth probably has something to do with it. I don't know. I would just say that maybe I would give her another dinosaur, just because I say the others maybe aren't.
Let's say you gotta pick a dinosaur for her.
Okay, if I had to pick a did you give her the T-Rex?
No, I gave her the Velociraptor.
Okay, that's dope. I would like that. That would be pretty dope. Yeah, no, something speedy would be cool. I like that.
Yeah,
let's go with that.
I said in the video she reminds me of Dellinger a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. And like Dellinger was like a fast, speedy character. So I think, I like the idea of Velociraptor. We're gonna find out her fruit next week. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'd be very shocked if like we don't see her break out her fruit against Luffy. Like, you're not fighting Luffy without.
If we're not gonna find it out, then I'm gonna take this piece of audio and paste it into the next Wano report.
No.
No,
are all of Morge's theories wrong? Can't even predict that's the next chapter.
That's the title of the next Wano report. Is Morge always wrong? No. What's your guess for Sasaki, by the way?
Oh, my guess for Sasaki was... Okay, I'll just quickly say it here. I don't want to turn it into going through that video, basically. But my guess for Sasaki was... My guess overall, by the way, is that they are all ancient zones. So I just led with that. Otherwise, I feel like it's harder for me to narrow down, what they are, if it's like the full spectrum, if they could be anything. So assuming they're all ancient zones, and I also assume that they're all going to be more recognizable ancient zones. So going off of that, I said Sasaki's a T-Rex. I said who's the Sabretooth. I said Ulti's the Velociraptor. I said Black Marie is a Stegosaurus. And yeah, basically I ran out at that. Oh, I also said that if Yamato is actually a strong character, because he's Kaido's son, in that case, Yamato would have the T-Rex. And then I would give Sasaki the Triceratops, basically. That's basically it.
I'm still shocked that Oda would, give the Yamato no Orochi fruit to Orochi. But then, I mean, that still makes sense because he's called Orochi, but I guess it would also have been fitting for Yamato. I don't know.
Oh, you saying like that because of the name? Yeah. I mean, Orochi's a snake. Just fits his character, I guess, or
I'm
whatever.
So curious. I really want to meet Yamato already. And I also want to see, what if he was the guy, sneaking up on Jinbei and Robin. And in general, what those two are up to. Like, if they're just chilling and hanging out and talking.
Dude, the chapter that I told you I got spoiled, or not spoiled, I thought I'd gotten spoiled by that guy. He said that Jinbei betrays the Straw Hats. In my mind, I was like, okay, so Jinbei's with Robin right now. Shit, so Jinbei does something to Robin. That's what I basically thought that they were up to at that time. I was like, okay, that's why Oda had Jinbei separate off with Robin, so like he could take out Robin or something. I don't know, but most likely, they're just wandering around. I assume they'll probably run into Yamato. It looks like Luffy ran into Ulti page 1. I guess somebody else is gonna run into Who's Who. Hopefully the tank group or something like that. I don't know.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know you have a theory that some characters will be joining a character.
Oh no, yeah, just okay. Try and say it without.
Yeah, but I know you were referring to other people, but I do feel also that the Flying Six, like, I would like to see them past Wano, if that makes sense.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I like them a lot. I think we've said this multiple times so far, but like, would you say they're in my opinion, they're my favorite little batch of henchmen that I've seen in a minute. Like, like Doflamingo's crew, like I think a lot of the crews we've seen so far have had like some standout, like Katakuri obviously for Big Mom, and like, Doflamingo had like Senor Pink and stuff like that.
I mean, the CP9 were pretty cool as a
CP9 as a group were great. CP9 as a group were great. I'd argue Baroque works too, but CP9 especially. But I'm saying like in a long time, Tobi Roppo are the first group like across the board that I really like.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it's only been a few
exactly
chapters.
The fact that they're not like they have been pirate captains and they are not 100% loyal to Kaido. I feel like that is what makes them interesting also, the dynamic they have.
Oh, and also we got a question from Marco, the One Piece theorist.
Oh.
And he said, I have one. When are you guys inviting me to join you in the Wano report? And I will say, does he want to be on the next one?
Wait, but then let's say
Oh shit, I keep forgetting. Okay, we've got all right.
let's do the one.
I'll just say I'll DM you.
Next one in case Liam is listening.
Yeah.
Because I accidentally invited. We actually have a bunch of people on the backlog.
Yeah,
sure. Marco, you're invited. Actually, I was actually texting with Marco because he's living in Japan right now, and we planned on meeting up and doing maybe a Wano report in person.
Oh wow. Okay.
But then I left, and now I'm banned from going back because of Corona. So that will have to wait maybe till the end of the year or the mid of the year, whenever I'll be able to go back.
All right, so we're definitely gonna get Marco on.
Dude, my stuff's still over there. I'm like,
oh man, really? Like you didn't get the pack fully or anything?
I mean, before I came, I was like, okay, because I genuinely did not think that there would actually be a travel ban. I was like, okay, well, it's going to be a month, so, but just in case, it's going to be 2 months or something, just bring all the important stuff. So my laptop, of course, and stuff like that. But like all my books, like a lot of my clothes, it's all like still over there. I'm like,
shit, dude, that's, man.
Oh, well.
How long do we think it's gonna? I mean, I guess we have no timeline really, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I keep annoying the Japanese consulate here. They already know who I am because I keep calling. Like, oh, it's you again. I'm like, yeah. Any news?
I just want my
like,
books.
No. I do have the hope that maybe August will be possible, but yeah. I just hope there will be some like. I really hope it doesn't happen, but given the probability that COVID's gonna come back again a bit in fall, once fall comes and stuff, like in September, October, I do hope there will be a window where I'll be able to go back.
and then you'll just be there.
Go into quarantine again there. I don't know. We'll see. What's Marco's question? Sorry. Oh, when he's gonna be on the Wano report?
Yeah, I just said I'll DM him.
He will be on the Wano report. One question I thought was interesting is what do you think Kumarazaki is doing now? So Hiyori. I personally do believe that she's gonna appear on Onigashima at some point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, go ahead.
No, that's
okay,
all I'm gonna say. Yeah. I do feel like I would be disappointed if Hiyori didn't have the chance to fight and show her power. And maybe even in case Oda is not going to make Momo the new shogun, I do really think having a woman, Hiyori, in Wano as the future shogun would be a powerful message, in terms of, having this, in a way, okay, so this is gonna go a bit further than it needs to, but like I do feel personally, this is like not a topic for an entire video, but I do feel that Oda's in a way criticizing Japanese society a little bit with Wano, saying, hey, this is basically a portrayal of old or ancient Japan. And nonetheless, they still have the same sexist views as we still have to this day. Like, there's still the same sexist problems, and, only guys can be strong, and women basically don't play a role, and so on and so forth. So I do believe it would be a powerful move by Oda to have Hiyori, which he has already portrayed as a strong character, have her become the new shogun of the new liberated and opened up Wano, right? And yes. I do believe, though, for Hiyori to really earn that position, she has to actually fight and participate in the battle. And that's why I believe that she's going to sneak onto the island and actually going to have a face-off, maybe with Orochi, hopefully, but at least going to be somewhere in there.
I think I definitely agree with you for a lot of that, and that Hiyori would, but because of Momo's age and stuff, Hiyori would make sense as like being the shogun potentially by the end of the arc. I guess the other thing is, I personally think I view her not being at Onigashima right now is one of the reasons. It's one of the smaller reasons, but it's like one of many reasons that I think that this isn't, like, the story doesn't end at Onigashima. So basically, I do think, I agree with you on everything, that she should play a big role, potentially get a fight if she's a fighter and stuff like that. But I just don't think it happens here. So I view her absence as like kind of small support for that, basically.
One thing I just thought about randomly. Do you remember from The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Eowyn? When she was basically hiding among the riders, and then she's the one who's taking down the Nazgul, what's his shit, the Witch King of Angmar.
no man can beat me, and she's like, I
Yeah,
am no
yeah, yeah.
man.
That would be interesting. Like if she was somewhere in the army and then it was something, you have maybe not Kaido, but Orochi also being that dragon.
Oh, if she got to kill Orochi or something like that
Maybe.
from yes, basically a surprise. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I am no man.
To be fair, I don't think anyone told her that she couldn't go to Onigashima. So
well, we really don't know, do we? Like the
No.
last time we saw her was in that snow bunker.
yeah, I don't really remember.
I think.
Shit, it's been a little bit, and
Was it,
Komuro's
like, with
there's so many
Onimaru?
characters. It's hard to remember exactly what the reasoning was for her
By the
not being
way,
there and stuff.
Why is he not there? Why is Onimaru not there? I still
Onimaru, I question because I'm like, is it possible that Oda just wanted to tell that little short story basically? And I think that's totally possible. Like, and there's no real need for him to continue to be in the narrative. Oda just wanted to tell that short story, but I would like to see him again. I don't know.
Onimaru for Nakama.
Yeah.
I'm in here.
He can be Zoro's pet dog or something like that. That'd be
dope.
so weird if Oda's just, if Zora's just like, for the rest of the series, he just has like a pet fox following him around. The fox is also like a real person. Makes it a little weird.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd be all for that. Oh man, I'm still like just thinking about that last chapter. What was it in Ringo? I'm
Yeah.
like, there's still so much stuff that has been just like teased by
Dude,
Oda and
Shimotsuki stuff. When's that coming up?
and all all the Void Sentry stuff, the Poneglyph stuff.
Yeah.
There's still
Oh,
not-
speaking of, there was that line by Marco recently. This chapter, I swear I'm not imagining it. It was something like, it was about Onigashima.
yeah, that
You know what I mean?
It didn't always used to be called that or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And then I jumped to like God Valley and stuff. But I actually went and checked. It doesn't look like God Valley at all. Like we kind of got a silhouette of what God Valley looks like, and it doesn't look like that. So I don't really know what to say about it. Do you have any thoughts
On what exactly?
on basically that? So he said that they didn't always call it Onigashima or
Oh,
something
okay.
like
You
that.
mean why you would say that?
Yeah, so what I meant was basically like, is it possible that this was God Valley and then God Valley somehow got moved here? But that was like a weird theory. It doesn't really make sense as a theory.
Okay.
You know?
I don't. This is interesting. So I don't believe that Onigashima used to be God Valley, but I did see someone who posted that. I did see a post. I think it might have been on Reddit, where it was basically the layout of Wano and the layout of God Valley, and they do look crazily similar. For
Wait,
sure.
what? Really?
Yeah. Wait. Let me share my screen.
Oh,
if I find
man,
it.
now I wanna see.
Man, I don't know.
The viewers don't need to see this. It's just for us.
Wait, how do I pull that up? Wano Kuni, God Island.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
That
we
would
need
be
someone-
wild.
We need someone like Jamie to pull up stuff whenever we need it.
Someone like who?
Okay, wait. Like Jamie from the Joe Rogan podcast, who's just like
Oh.
Googling shit.
If only I watched more. I've seen clips.
Yeah. No, it's a cool podcast for sure. I've kind of like moved on to other stuff lately, I gotta be honest, but it's still, and I think they're going like exclusively on Spotify or something. Yeah, wait, okay, so I found it, like I didn't find the merged image, but I found the two separate ones, so maybe I can.
Okay. Guys,
Oh,
this
shit,
is
it's
going to be
both.
some really crazy, mind-blowing images.
Okay,
It sucks
wait.
that you just are not going to get to see any of it.
Share screen.
Just trust us.
Okay, let's see. So this is Wano, right? Like it has
Yes.
like basically going out of the water, and then God Valley.
Okay.
Where is it? Here. Do you see it?
Yeah, wait a second. What?
So it kind of
That's
has like
actually really
a
interesting.
very similar shape.
No, come on. I'd be really upset if I just got spoiled, basically. You know, I hate getting spoiled on theories that, like, spoiled by theories that are good that, like, unless I accidentally thought of it or something like that. Seeing other people's really good theories, like, bums me out because it's like, man, now I just got spoiled pretty much. You
Though
know?
to be fair, I mean they do look similar, but I still do believe that God Valley does have kind of a, unique shape.
Yeah, and it, it's also that, like, there was like a big fight there that we never heard about, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense.
And also,
It
like,
can't be the
since we
same,
know that
right?
Wano does have this, long lasting tradition and like long lasting history with the samurai going back to Ryuma and stuff, it would be kind of weird if, I mean, it's not impossible, but then the samurai would have had to be there as well, kind of,
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but guys, it was a cool.
But it
cool
looks
image
similar.
Yeah, it
for
looked
sure.
cool. We'll make that
Okay.
the thumbnail. Psych. No, we definitely won't.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you. Yeah, I think that's it for today.
I think that's good. All right.
Oh, sounds good. Make sure to subscribe to the new channel. If you're new, welcome. Make sure to follow us on Twitter as well for questions and other stuff on our individual channels. Make sure to leave us your thoughts on the latest 2 chapters. And otherwise, anything else we forgot?
No, I think that's good.
That's it. Then we see you guys, hear you guys next week.
Talk to y'all later. Bye.